How'd you get started in tennis?
I started when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was actually playing basketball, and my dad, he took me to my sister's practice. My sister was playing tennis at the time, and the coach saw me playing, and she was like, wow, this guy has a lot of talent, and so she offered to give me free lessons for a week, and that's how I got started in tennis.
And then it's been history since. So did you play any like other sports growing up, or was it always just tennis?
Basketball was my first sport.
Okay.
I played basketball until my freshman year of high school. I played on varsity my freshman year, and then finished after that. I didn't play again. The coach told me don't come back if I wasn't able to make all the games, and I missed a lot of games.
Yeah. So do you think it like helped playing basketball, like helped your tennis game?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think it helped physically. Because you have to have a very good conditioning to play. And my tennis game, I don't know if you've seen me play at all, but it's very physical. It's very physicality based and athletics based. So I think that it helped me in that regard. But development wise, I didn't have a lot of very good technique. And in basketball, it's more it requires a different type of finesse. So it was like a little tough to reconcile the both.
So like I heard of you because you like were up pretty high in the rankings and when I was getting recruited it was COVID and it was crazy. What was like your kind of process like, because I know you were at Cornell and then you went to Kentucky.
So COVID was pretty tough. Our season got canceled. It was one of our best seasons ever at Cornell. I think we got to like 17 or 16 in the country. And we had won our ECAC championship and everything, so we were doing pretty good. And then the season got canceled, and then for the Ivy Leagues actually the next year also we weren't allowed to play.
I forgot about that.
So I went to France. I actually broke my sesamoid, broke my my foot.
Really?
Went over to France. I had a surgery there. I had a surgery on my wrist. So COVID was not like the most fun time for me. I would have to say. I think I went like 1 in like 13 that year or something. So that was a pretty tough time. I came back to Ithaca actually and was training there in the summer of 2020. But it was definitely it kind of threw things off. I decided to go to Kentucky just because I wasn't going to be allowed to play at at Cornell for my 5th year just because that's an Ivy League rule. But I also wanted to be a part of a team that has athletic scholarships. That definitely helps. I didn't want to put a burden on my parents, and I also wanted to springboard myself, have a good position to start playing on the pro tour, which I'm doing now.
So I kind of got 2 questions off that. One, you talked about being 1 in 13 during that time. What's like the biggest thing you learned through that? Because people don't realize like the struggles that goes through. Like I remember one summer I went like 0 and 12, and that was the hardest thing ever. But it's through those hard moments where you find yourself as a player, I guess.
For sure. I mean, the one win that I had actually was over Misha Zverev.
Really?
that year. So that definitely helped with my confidence a little bit. But one of the things that like, if you've seen my game, it used to be very up and down. I've mellowed out a little bit more now, and I think things are getting a little bit more consistent. But it used to be very up and down and based off of my emotions, and losing a lot. At first, it puts you into kind of a depression, and you start basing your self-worth based on a game, which is never a healthy way to do things, right? So I don't know. I would say I don't think it taught me much in the way of tennis, but it definitely taught me to have a lot of patience and not base things off of just one result. You know what I'm saying? Or 12 or 13.
Yes. So now that you're done with college, kind of talk about like what the next steps and where you're like going, and like people don't really see like the struggles it really is to to make it to a place like this, and I don't kind of go into that a little bit too, I guess.
Well, I mean, to make it here this week was very much a struggle. I got in the night before I played, and I only had about 30 minutes of practice on the grass, and I didn't have grass court shoes until about an hour before my match. And they weren't even mine. Steve Johnson lent his pair to me for like.
And that's the things you don't see and people don't realize.
He lent his pair to me, so I didn't even have any grass court shoes or anything, and it's really tough, especially at the bigger tournaments when you're not ranked as high. Like for me, I think my ranking's decent. I think I'm 399 right now or something. But to get into these tournaments, you have to have like a pretty high ranking and everything. and I was never sure of whether I was playing in this tournament until kind of the last minute, which makes like travel is very difficult. Planning out the tournament itself is very difficult because I played on hard court last week and everything. And yeah, being on the tour, especially when you're starting out, you kind of have to be your own manager, your own agent, your own, travel guy, everything, you know what I mean? And in a lot of cases, your own coach as well. So it definitely is tough. And there's also the financial part to take into account. Every week that you're not playing a challenger and winning matches is going to cost you a lot of money, you know? So that's kind of just something that really I think grinds players down, is the financial part of it. You can be playing well and not making any money.
Yeah, I told you it would be a couple minutes. I want to take like 2 more questions. If that's cool with you.
Easy. Yeah.
So I never played on grass court. Like it's the first time I've ever seen it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean I played on hard and clay my whole life. Like, how familiar were you with this, and how hard is it to like change a surface so quick? Because this is such a short season. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So I actually have a bit of experience, not a lot, but I played Wimbledon twice in juniors, and I played the Ilkley, like Nottingham, Surbiton trio back in 2019, I think, and then I played it again this year. This year I only played Nottingham, and so I've had a little bit of experience on the grass, and I think my game is very well suited to it, but it's just, it has been difficult, especially this year. Both tournaments that I played on grass, it was more of the equipment than anything else. You know, because I didn't have grass court shoes, and then Nottingham, my grass court shoes actually fell apart in the third game. So
no way.
So I had to finish out with a pair of size 11s.
That's crazy.
Size 13. So
that was pretty tight.
It was tough. But I mean, to be honest, changing from hard to grass, I don't think is as tough as, let's say, changing from clay to hard or hard to clay, just because it's like,
is it just the balances? It kind of looks like that,
and it's the movement. That's it. Like once you get and the movement isn't as hard as clay court, at least for me. It's more of like, you just have to stay low. That's all. And if you stay low, then you can keep your balance well. With clay, it's a little bit different. You have to contort your body a certain way and all kinds of other stuff. But but for grass, as long as you stay low, you have a good slice, you can move forward well, you'll be fine, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard one. I always finish out with it, but your career's just starting. But when your career's over down the line, how you want to be remembered?
How do I want to be remembered?
It's a tough one.
I mean, I don't want to just be remembered as a player.
Yeah.
I want to be remembered as someone who made, paved the way.
Yeah.
In some sort of way. I want to be able to provide for kids that grew up in the same area as me, the same way as me. I want to destigmatize, or help at least destigmatize minorities playing in certain sports, such as tennis. You know, I think that Francis has done a great job. I think that Eubanks has done a great job of doing that already. And I want to be up there with those guys, helping young black boys and girls see that it is possible to make a living playing tennis. No,
that's amazing, man. Well, I really appreciate you. I know you're on the way out. I really appreciate you just taking a couple minutes and doing that, man. Thank you.
Of course, no worries. Thank you.
Awesome, I appreciate it.
Yep. All right.